Hi, this is Anmol from Team Control All Defeat with our idea iPark, the intelligent parking for Solve for Bharat Hackathon. So the theme that we have selected is urban development and management with a sub-theme of traffic management. This is the problem statement that we are trying to solve to create an affordable and easily deployable solution using image processing for the detection of vehicles and number plate tracking in various commercial and residential areas. This is what our problem statement is. Main factor is though there are many solutions in the existing market, the affordability and their sustainability in long term comes into question. So now moving on to the problem we see in various Indian cities these days is the problem of moving traffic as well as parked vehicles on the road, which causes to the impending problem of the traffic. Some of the statistics and the main reasons we chose the parking area sector is, as per as a report by the Grand View Research, there is expected to be a growth of $6.9 billion in global parking management market by 2025. These are some of the news stories from the major headlines from newspapers. People ready to kill for a parking slot, rising number of parking spots that we need. There has been research papers on this topic, as well as illegal parking leading to traffic jams, etc. etc. So moving on, the market research shows that this domain has various links to multiple sectors such as access control, security, parking reservation, valet parking reduction of costs, etc. Existing solutions that we have, as you can see here in more detail, they mostly rely on barriers or sensors that are not reliable in the long term. Dataset that we have used is iPark and its extension. It is a research-oriented database and it has mostly been used in research papers as citations, and there is no existing market application of this. You can see more features of CNR dataset as mentioned here. This is a time-lapse video of real world functioning of the dataset that we are talking about. It uses neural network which is binary in nature to classify whether a particular region of interest is having a vehicle inside it or not. The efficiency, as you can see, is really good and it is dynamic. The latency of detection is very less. So the current solutions that we have are really impractical because if we need increased parking in an area for a particular day due to some function, you cannot build the entire sector and the infrastructure cost is really high. So the outcomes, as you can see, which are mentioned here, is to provide an efficient parking system that also deals with the great problem of illegal parking and management in our country. So the methodology that we have used is we use a vehicle identification which primarily is done out by a camera, as you can see here, and it detects the number plate, and after that we move on and adding the number plate to the database. Then the next task that we need to do is that spot vacant or occupied. Here you can see the infrastructure details about the camera that we will be using and its deployment, a general overview of it. So the visual monitoring, why we chose it, the main reason behind it, it is more cheaper, simple infrastructure, and it is very versatile compared to the existing hardware structure that we have. This is the more on the specifications about the camera that we are using. So the internal processing, if the vehicle is native, we park it to the space and the security concerns are raised if it is not registered in the database. We are automating the parking output and we are giving the notification in case vehicle is unwanted or suspicious. And so now moving on to the additional features, you can see we can reserve VIP parking spaces and we can also dynamically allocate spots to the vehicles during rush hours. This is a simulation of our plan in this animation where when a vehicle comes in this manual parking, the entire work is done by the valet and the valet sees both entrance and exit, and due to the cash involved there is less accountability. If that transaction is not logged in, most of the time valet keep the money in their pocket. Also, customer retention and satisfaction is really poor because of the hugely populated parking spaces. So enter our parking lot management system. Here what we do is whenever a vehicle that comes in, if it is in the database and it is a VIP member that has been with us for a long time, we let them in. As well as when a vehicle is not registered, we'll register them and then we let them in. For example, if there is a vehicle that is blocked from entering into that building, then we put it into the database with a timestamp that vehicle tried to access but we didn't let them. The current model allows us to give discounts to our loyal members, increasing the customer retention, as well as shortest path routing algorithms helps us to track which vehicle is where at any given point of time, and this can be used to monitor and also provide a better user experience in general compared to the existing solutions that we have, which is more of a populated mass. Also, this leads to better accountability and helps in reducing crime, as we can see that we have complete log of all the active vehicles at any given time in the parking lot. We can generate chart and other visualizations that we can give to the administrator, which is our end client in this case, and it can help them track that what are their main sources of income. So this leads to a particular win-win situation for both the administrator as well as the owner. So the workflow that we have, this is for residential areas, which comprised of checking post, number plate recognition, and then moving on if the vehicle is allowed or not. For the corporate buildings and government offices, we check with the number plate, and if the vehicle is exceeding, then we move on to the security personnel. So the web application structure comprises of logging into the system, verification and validation, and then using modules to verify and doing the different tasks as mentioned here. So the business services that we will be providing is vehicle and owner details numbers and ensuring safety of parked vehicles, and that the safety part is something we are really focusing on. So the advantages of this system, as you can see here, are it provides a great experience compared to the existing system, and it can be used to cross check with vehicle of road traffic organization, so that in case of crime records we can look out for different vehicles. Funding and other factors involved in setting up our deployment model is it depends on the parking space, the number of hardware that are required, as well as the in and out of the vehicles that are in the parking facility, as well as maintenance costs. So as you can see in this slide here, the population base of customers is really wide, from corporates to government offices to residential spaces. The scope is really high, and that's the main reason we chose this. Thank you. This has been our idea submission for Solve for Bharat Hackathon. This is the list of our team members that made this possible. Thank you.